Stand by.
Right.
It's strange not being in Dallas.
I
It's
know.
2 years in a row our
I
junkets were in
know.
Dallas. I sort of miss it, actually.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Jane, it was just, I think, a year ago today, actually, that we were together in Dallas doing 9 to 5, and now here we are in New York to talk about Rollover. Couldn't help but think, Jane, that given your past record, your track record for films opening, China Syndrome came out and we had 3 Mile Island. Now, I hope to goodness we're not going to have a collapse of the dollar here just as Rollover opens. But this film is has so much to do with the world of finance and the threatening things going on as far as the stability of the dollar. Are you here trying to sound a message, or are you saying, well, here's something that might happen and then just have fun with it in a dramatic way?
It's more the latter. It's, I guess I would describe it as a cautionary film. It's like a warning placed in the midst of almost like an old-time Hollywood movie, very romantic and glamorous and sexy, the way old movies used to be, far more glamorous than anything I've ever done before. But it is true, we're trying to sound a warning bell about an issue that's, I think, the most central to our lives, which is the degree to which, unbeknownst to the citizens, we've been made so vulnerable and dependent on the Arabs.
You're the head of a company. You produce your own films. And so you have to get involved in financial matters. Are you pretty good at it?
No. No, that's why I have a partner. He is good at it. I'm not very good at it. I'm more involved in the creative end of it, kind of influencing what films we make, what subjects they're about, what characters I play, who the other cast is, and work with the writers on the script. But all of the business part of it, I'm really not too good at, and not very interested in, to tell you the truth. I mean, I try to keep abreast, but it's not my strong forte.
Do you understand it at all when they start talking about points and all this stuff? Do you understand that?
I understand it. I understand it. But I guess I feel I'm a great one for delegating. I couldn't do as much as I do in my life if I didn't delegate. I understand it, but I have people that I work with whose opinions I trust, and I just say, you deal with it. You know, just keep me informed, but you do it.
One of the big surprises for me in this film, Jane, is Kris Kristofferson, because we know your ability as an actress. You have the awards and the credentials and so forth. So we always expect a dynamite performance from Jane Fonda. But Kris Kristofferson, in my opinion, has had a kind of, peaks and valleys career as an actor as far as success. Now, honestly, when they said we're thinking about Kris Kristofferson for this, did you sort of, throw up your hands and say, wait a minute?
I felt two ways. I thought, ooh, I'd like to work with him in a romantic movie. But I thought, well, he's certainly not the obvious choice for this part. You sort of think of Kris as being kind of laid back and mellow and Western. But he's also very, very smart. And so we decided, and he agreed very generously, to read with me for Alan Pakula. And the sparks flew, and it became real clear that it was offbeat choice, but more interesting because of that. And it was very, very exciting to watch him grow in the role. I'm very proud of his work in the movie.
Jane, you had to give him a lot of help, and Alan Pakula indicated to me that you did. Would you get right down to the nitty-gritty and say, Kris, try this, or let's this, or no?
No, I tried to, I was more like a shrink. I watched him, saw how he was his own worst enemy sometimes, out of fear, out of nervousness, out of insecurity, because it was such a challenging role. He would throw up barriers to himself, and that's where I would have long talks with him about how to handle that. I recognized it as a fellow actor. I could see it coming, and I very often we don't even realize what we do to hamper ourselves, and as soon as someone points it out, you can begin to deal with it. That was really my function.
You have another film that'll be coming out, well, is open now in Los Angeles and I believe here, but on Golden Pond. Jane, I have to tell you, I had an experience with that film I've never had before in all the years I've been doing this work. I looked at some clips, about 5 minutes worth of clips. I came out of that room with tears in my eyes. It is so beautiful.
Yes.
Now, Oscars are hovering all around that picture. You know it as well as I do. If your father gets a nomination, and if he's well enough, will he go to the Academy Awards?
That's a good question, Bobbie. I think you know him pretty well. I'm not sure. I really don't know. My father, all his life, has objected to the whole concept of one person winning over someone else. He's always felt that there are so many good performers and good performances, and they're usually so different. It's like trying to equate apples and oranges, and he feels it's a competitive enough world anyway. Why pit one person against another? So he's always stayed away. I just don't know now. I know that he would feel very proud of what it would mean that his fellow members of the industry would give him that award, but I don't know whether he would go or not.
But would he accept it when they
He
bring
would
it?
accept it. He would accept it, just as he accepted last year the Life Achievement Award by the Academy.
Jane, another thing. Your father has written his autobiography. That had to be one of the most painful things he's ever done in his life, to bring up all these past hurts and problems and everything. Why did he do it?
Well, Howard Teichman wrote the biography after spending 2 years with my father. I think he did it, my dad did it, because so much is written about him. You know, it's like all of us are constantly having books written about us that are inaccurate and either make us look too good or too bad. It's always unreal. And I think he felt in the sunset of his life that the time had come, since he has spanned such an important period of American history and American movie and theatrical history, that he had something to say, that he wanted to tell it like it was, warts and all, as he puts it, and he did. And it's a very moving book. I wish I'd read it 20 years ago. I think I would have been a better daughter for him. I would have understood him more.
Are you and your dad close now?
Very, very close. Except for a few periods, we've always been close. I've always worshipped him a lot of my life. Like the girl in On Golden Pond, like that woman who, out of frustration, because she doesn't have a very close relationship to her father, and she says to her mother, you know, it doesn't matter how far away from him I am, he still rules my life. For a long time, my dad ruled my life. Now he does, in the sense that I still often think, what would Dad think? Would he be proud of me if I do this? Will he like this movie? We've become close enough now so that I pretty much know how he would react.
Well, come Academy Award time, I'm sure you all will be nominated, and I hope that we see all of you there, the whole Fonda
Wouldn't that
family.
be nice? I know.
Be super, and I hope
Thanks.
Rollover does well for you. Jane, as
Thank you
always,
very much, Bobbie.
delightful to see you.
Say hi to Dallas for me.
You bet.
Okay.
All right. Yes, I do. I need reactions. And will these be in the way? Let's just shove them over
No,
to
I'm going
the...
to be tight enough.
Okay, not too tight, though. Let's see, if I look about... Yes, so we have sound again, please. All right.
Just hold it.
Well, Jane, given your past record with films opening, China Syndrome, we had 3 Mile Island in conjunction with that, I'm almost afraid for Rollover to open, that we'll have a collapse of the dollar or something. Are you good at, let me start again. You're an owner of your own company. You produce your own films. Are you good at financial matters? Do you understand what they're talking about when they say points and that sort of thing? Jane, I must say that Chris Christopherson seems to be the least likely person for this role, and yet I must say that I think he comes off very good in the film. Now, did you give him a lot of coaching and say, Chris, maybe if you do this or we try it this way? Did you do a lot of that sort of thing with him? You have another movie, On Golden Pond, that just has Oscars hovering all around it. If your father is nominated, and if he... Let me start again. You have another movie, On Golden Pond. It just has Oscars hovering all around it.